Let's talk about inequalities. So in general, an inequality is a math statement where both sides are not the same, similar to an equation, except it uses an inequality symbol instead of an equal sign. Let's talk about those symbols right now. We have the less than symbol, which looks like this. This is assuming from left to right, this is called the less than symbol. The circle we use when we shade is going to be an open circle, and we will shade left, less than, to the left. Greater than is going to look like this. It also uses an open circle, but will shade to the right. Less than or equal to adds half of an equal sign to your symbol. We shade in the circle on our graph because we're including that number, and we shade to the left. And greater than or equal to also is filled in, and we shade to the right. Now there's also a rule for inequalities when you're solving that if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, so if we multiply or divide by a negative on both sides, we flip the symbol. Very important. Okay, let's do some examples. See how this works. We're going to solve each inequality, graph the solution set, and list 3 numbers in the set of solutions. So here we have 2y minus 6 is less than 3. We'll add 6 to both sides, just like an equation. That's our solving process. 2y is less than 9. Divide by 2. And y is less than 9 over 2, or we'll call that 4.5. So there's our solution. Our solution is all the numbers that are less than 4.5. Now to graph that, we'll use a number line. We want to focus our graph on our number 4.5. And then just to add a little context, I like to add the next highest and next lowest integer. So we have 4 and 4.5 and 5 here. Now for our graph, we want to show that our graph starts at 4.5, so we have a circle on 4.5. Since it's a less than symbol, not less than or equal to, we'll leave it open. And because it's less than, we shade to the left. All the numbers that are less than 4.5. Be sure to shade in the arrow because that shows that this goes on forever. Okay, now we need to list 3 numbers in the set of solutions. So our 3 numbers we can choose all must be less than 4.5. Well, we can pick an easy one like 4. 3 is also less than 4.5. And how about a really low one like negative 52? As long as our numbers are less than 4.5, they're in the set of solutions. Okay, let's move on to example B. We have negative 4.2x is less than or equal to negative 29.4. So just like an equation, we'll divide here by negative 4.2. Because I'm dividing by a negative, I must flip my inequality symbol. And negative 29.4 divided by negative 4.2 is 7. So there's my inequality. X is greater than or equal to 7. I almost said less than. Okay, now we must graph this on a number line. Again, you want to center your number line. Try to draw it straight, but it's okay if it's a little crooked. At 7. And then add a couple more numbers for context. We have 8 and 6. That should be good enough. If you want to add more, feel free. But this is good enough for me. Greater than or equal to gives us a filled in circle. This shows that we're including this number in our solution set. Our set starts here at 7, but it also includes 7. And greater than shades to the right, just like this. And now let's state 3 solutions greater than 7 or equal to. So how about 7? That is greater than or equal to 7. Let's say 10 and maybe 1,222. All numbers that are greater than or equal to 7. Okay, we've got one more. Negative 4c is less than or equal to 5c plus 58 all over 6. Well, just like an equation, we would start this by multiplying both sides by 6. So negative 24c is less than or equal to 5c, I almost wrote x, 5c plus 58. And now because we have c's on both sides, we'll want to subtract one of them. So we get negative 29c is less than or equal to 58. Finally, we must divide by negative 29. We end up with c. We must flip our symbol is greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay, now we must graph. So on a number line, well, maybe I should circle that. On a number line, we want to focus our attention on negative 2. Now for negatives, it's even more important to add some numbers for context because remember they go kind of in the opposite direction. So we have negative 3 and negative 1. We need a filled in circle at negative 2 because we're including it in our solution, and we will shade greater than negative 2. So our 3 numbers, let's go ahead and throw negative 2 in there. How about 0 and 15? Those are all numbers greater than negative 2. So solve them just like equations. Remember to flip the symbol if you multiply or divide by a negative. And don't forget how the shading works. Less than or greater than, use an open circle. If there's an equal to bar, fill that circle in.